Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm here for my UFC 132 predictions, Faber versus Cruz. I'm going to do the main card first, preliminary card next, like always. I'm actually going to do it this time. Didn't do one for the versus one. There was a lot of fights on the prelims, and I just didn't get around to it. I'm sorry. First fight on the card, we got Dennis Siver versus Matt Wiman. These guys, Matt Wiman looked great his last fight, but this fight really doesn't make sense to me. Like, I guess you can see how they go up. Like, I wouldn't have minded seeing this fight if it was before Dennis Siver beat George Sotiropoulos. That just skyrocket someone, man. He was like, everyone was saying he should have had a title shot. He was like on a 7-8 win streak. It was huge. And Dennis Siver beat him, and I don't know, this fight, it seems weird that they gave him Matt Wiman. I guess Matt Wiman, they both won 3 in a row. Matt Wiman was, though, fighting like smaller competition, and he won the Matt Danzig fight, which was, you know, Matt Danzig wasn't really out. So, I don't know. This doesn't make sense to me. Saying that, though, I think it's a great fight. Dennis Siver, Matt Wiman. Matt Wiman looked like he wanted to destroy Cole Miller. If he comes out like that, I could see him definitely beating Dennis Siver, but the question is, can he actually get him down? I don't think he'll be able to get Dennis Siver down. I think Dennis Siver, it could be a good stand-up fight, but Dennis Siver will eventually just catch Matt Wiman. I don't know if he'll get the finish, but I do feel Matt Wiman will get caught. Maybe a spinning back kick, that'd be pretty cool. And yeah, I'll just give it to Dennis Siver by a decision. Next fight, we got Carlos Condit versus Dong Hyun Kim. I hate Dong Hyun Kim. I really was sad with his Nate Diaz fight. That was the most, like, it reminded me of Nick Lenz almost. Like, he kind of took him down, did not do anything with the takedown. He just kind of pressed his hips into him, didn't let him move, and I remember watching that fight. Joe Rogan said if it was like Japan rules, Nate Diaz would have won for cumulative damage, and the only time he hit Dong Hyun Kim was like the last 2 minutes of the round. So Dong Hyun Kim really doesn't do shit. He's very boring to me. I didn't like seeing him fight Amir Sadal. I didn't like seeing him fight really anyone. He's undefeated, not really if you count the no contest to Karo Parisian. Karo tested for like steroids or something, but Karo did beat him that fight. And Carlos Condit, I could definitely see Carlos winning here. I think he actually might. The Rumble on the Rock tournament, no one really thought he was going to beat Trigg. No one thought he was going to beat really a lot of the people that was in the tournament, but he's great. He's proved himself in MMA, and he's definitely on his way to getting a title shot. I would have liked to see him versus Rick Story or something, but Rick Story just lost, so that fight wouldn't make sense anymore. It's a hard fight to call. I saw MMA Insight's prediction, and it just seems like there's so many different ways you can think about this fight. Carlos Condit attacking off his back, if he can actually make space to get a submission, you know he's pretty aggressive on his back. And Dong Hyun Kim smothering him. It could either be pretty exciting or it could be boring. I don't know. I'll just have to say Dong Hyun Kim by decision, but I really wouldn't be surprised if Carlos Condit could catch him with something. He has crisp striking, and we saw that versus the Dan Hardy fight, but I'm going to have to go with Dong Hyun Kim by a boring-ass decision. You know I changed that. Carlos Condit, second-round knockout. Ortiz versus Bader, next fight on the card. This fight doesn't make any sense to me either. I don't know, Ryan Bader, even with the loss of John Jones, I saw he's still in the top 10 for light heavyweights, and Tito Ortiz hasn't won since 2006. That makes sense to you guys? Does not make sense to me. My bad, stupid ringtone. Yeah, I don't understand at all. Huntington Beach Bad Boy could be out of the UFC if he loses this fight. Well, he will be out of the UFC, and I mean, he needs a win. I could definitely, Ryan Bader, more power in his hands, better wrestling. Tito Ortiz, though, he's a tough guy. I can see him attacking off his back, but probably not catching Ryan Bader. I think he's just too strong. And it's sad. I mean, where is there for Tito to go? I mean, will Zuffa really pick him up since Strikeforce is under the banner? I know they say business as usual, right? But it's not. I don't even know where to go with this. I mean, Ryan Bader, obviously, by like a decision. I could see him even stopping Tito Ortiz in the third round. But yeah, I really want Tito Ortiz to win. I saw a post where he said he was like the last gladiator left, last guy standing from the old UFC days. And yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know though. Like, I can definitely see this going like the Matt Hamill way. And that was horrible. That was a horrible fight. So Ryan Bader by decision. Next fight on the card, you got two of my favorite fighters of all time fighting each other. Chris Lieben versus Wanderlei Silva. I've always liked Wanderlei Silva since I first got into MMA. My parents, my mom actually would watch old Prides on like FSN or something in California. And I remember seeing Wanderlei, and I remember seeing him stomping on people's faces, and I just thought that was the craziest thing. I'm like 6 or 7. It was just really cool. And Chris Lieben, he's been my favorite fighter since he went on the first season Ultimate Fighter finale. You guys probably saw, if you saw that video, if you've been with me that long, I talked about him being my favorite fighter. Really sad he lost to Brian Stann. I saw, though, I guess he had like 101 or 102 degree fever. He had the chills and stuff. Like, he went in there really sick. So I can see him getting finished. I don't know if that was just an excuse or if he was serious. I don't know. I'd like to think he was serious. And, yeah, I don't know, if we see the Wanderlei Silva that we saw against Michael Bisping, I can definitely see him winning. He could just throw smart leg kicks and kind of be patient, because he looked really patient against Michael Bisping, and still have the power to. I mean, Wanderlei, everyone knows Wanderlei has power. I can definitely see him catching Lieben, maybe getting up in the clinch. You know, Lieben likes to clinch too, but I don't think he'll want any of the clinch with Wanderlei. And it's going to be fight of the night, I'm sure of it, unless, I don't know. I've seen fights like this before where it turns into some snoozer, but Chris Lieben and Wanderlei Silva, I can't see this being a snoozer at all. It's really hard to call, though. I mean, I think Wanderlei definitely, like what I just said, could win, but Chris Lieben, I really think he has the power just to knock Wanderlei out. He's always been an underdog. When he fought what the fuck? I just forgot his name. You know who I'm talking about. Yoshihiro Akiyama. Wow. But, yeah, he was an underdog there. He was supposed to be Brian Stann, didn't beat Brian Stann. This is confusing. I think it's going to be fight of the night. I'll just have to go with Wanderlei Silva having the experience edge. And, well, not even that much more experience, but just being Wanderlei, I'll call it the fight Wanderlei decision. Wanderlei by decision. Dominic Cruz versus Uriah Faber. God, this is going to be a good fight. Second fight for them. It's cool to see two guys. Like, I think this is the first main event in UFC history where it's not anything like, it's something below a lightweight fight. And I'm really curious to see how it goes. Dominic Cruz, I wasn't a big WEC guy. Like, I always loved watching the fights, but I never really caught the events live. I made sure I watched like the last few events live. And Dominic Cruz, I don't know, people say he doesn't belong on a top 10 list. From round 1 to round 5, this guy goes at you and like he picks you apart. He was moving crazy when he was fighting Scott Jorgensen. His kicks looked amazing, his striking looked great, and he had great wrestling. And I've seen other analysts, they say he doesn't belong anywhere near a pound for pound list. I don't know, if he beats Uriah Faber, he's definitely pound for pound. I don't care what you say if the lightweight class isn't there yet or anything, but he's one of the best fighters I've ever seen. His striking is just some of the best. He can keep up that pace, and it's incredible to watch. I love watching Dominic fight. After seeing that fight against Scott Jorgensen, I actually thought Jorgensen was going to win, and it was amazing. I really couldn't even believe it. I'm really impressed with Dominic Cruz. He's got so much to do in the sport, and for Uriah Faber, I think that's a bad thing. We saw Uriah Faber, like I'm saying he has good striking. I don't think he has like Jose Aldo level leg kicks, but he has good striking. Uriah Faber, you saw him struggle with the leg kicks against Jose Aldo, but at bantamweight he's looked pretty good. I'm pretty sure he's stronger than Dominic Cruz. And everyone says his wrestling is better, he has better credentials. Scott Jorgensen is a better wrestler than both. Like, I thought on paper he's better than both of them. And Dominic, look what Dominic did to him. I love Uriah Faber, though. Everyone loves Uriah Faber. Come on. California kid. He was a face of WEC. That's the only reason I really knew WEC when I was like a little younger, was because of Uriah Faber. And he's always going to be one of my favorite fighters, but I don't know if I can see him winning the fight. If it gets into a grappling contest, if that's where it goes, I'm sure Uriah could win it. But if it stays standing, like Dominic I'm sure wants it to, he's going to pick apart Faber unless Faber can catch him. Yeah, Faber has a chance to catch Dominic Cruz, but just seeing how good his footwork was in his last fight, I really don't see it happening, and I probably see it going to a unanimous decision, or, yeah, unanimous decision for Dominic Cruz. That was my main card picks. Be back with a prelim card. I'm sorry if I seem a little weird here. I was listening to my voice, and I seemed pretty weird. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. Tell me what you think of it. It means a lot to me. I have some good subscribers on here, and I like all you guys. Peace.